What up, fam? It's your boy DTLF back with another Beyond Sports episode number 16. How y'all doing today? Hopefully everybody's doing good. What's up, Juan? Feeling good today, man. Woke up, a lot of rumors. Obviously, 2 days away from the NBA draft, so we got that going. But you see the title, Snakes in the Grass. We're gonna get into that a little bit. Um, Interesting, man. Kuz has just officially opted out of his $13 million contract. So he becomes an unrestricted free agent. We're going to talk some hoops. You know, we got the rumors of Chris Paul potentially going to the Clippers. Um, Now, the reason I titled this video "Snakes in the Grass" is not necessarily because of Kevin Durant, even though he is one of the snakes in the grass. You know, with the recruiting of Bradley Beal or whatnot. Well, this episode is actually about Damian Lillard. And real quick, Slush says, "Have you watched Demon Slayer season 3 finale?" I have not. I have not seen the season finale, bro. Matter of fact, I haven't even seen season 3. I've been extremely busy. But yeah, I got to get on that when I get a chance, man. That's my favorite anime out there. Since I've been a fan since it came out, and matter of fact, look, check out my wallet. Bang, right? So I will definitely be watching it, but I like to binge it all, so I waited for it to complete itself, right? But all right, like I was saying, Damian Lillard, man, snakes in the grass. Now I'm not calling Damian Lillard a snake in the grass. I'm actually calling the Portland Trailblazers organization a snake in the grass because they've been taking advantage of this man's loyalty, right, or whatever his brand is, and they're in between rebuilding and building around him. They keep telling him that they want to build through him, but their actions speak otherwise, right? Now, it is reported that they're most likely going to keep the third overall draft pick in this year's NBA draft, which tells me that they're choosing youth over Damian. Now, in my opinion, I believe they're snaking him out of something here. Instead of being straight up with him and telling him, you know what, we're going to go in a different direction. Where would you like to get traded? Give us your list. You know, they're saying, oh, we still want to build around you. But at the same time, their actions say, oh, we're keeping Anthony Simmons, we're keeping the draft pick. So it tells me that they want to sell tickets, use his name to sell tickets while rebuilding. So they're using him to bridge the gap. Most franchises and teams don't like to do the full rebuild. They don't like to go through that, period of irrelevance. And they know as long as they keep Damian Lillard's name, they're going to be somewhat relevant. This is why I said snakes in the grass. Shout out to my guy Christian though for the thumbnail. Of course, he gave me the idea. But yeah, listen, to me, Portland is a big snake in the grass, and they continue to take advantage of Damian. Damian needs to open up his eyes and just request a trade already and say it with your chest. Don't be afraid to express yourself, even if it villainizes you amongst the Portland Trailblazer fans. Other fans will love you. You're always going to be super talented and be able to, do whatever you want on and off the court. So it shouldn't really be an issue. Any comments, questions you guys have about this subject, let me know. I will read comments as I go. My guy said, going to move to Mexico and get my dual citizenship. Hey, congratulations, Christopher. That's what's up. My mom lives out there, so I feel you, bro. It's not a bad spot to be at. He said, "Oh shoot, I won't spoil, bro, but damn, it was good. Oh man, I can't wait to see it now, bro. You got me hyped. I can't wait to see that new Demon Slayer. Should be fun, man. He needs the change of scenery. Oh, it's overdue, Nico. Listen, Damian Lillard just been trying to be an NBA good guy. You can't do that, right? You got to just do you. Don't worry about the way you're perceived and the way they're gonna treat you, whether you request a trade or not. You're already kind of becoming a joke because every year you complain about not having enough talent, but then about how you want to be loyal. Can't have your cake and eat it too. Pick one, choose one, and stick by that decision, man. Um, Dontario, my guy said Dame and the organization are playing a game of chicken. Somebody has to blink first. Well, it's not. I'll tell you what, Dontario, it's not going to be the organization. They're going to sit there and basically let you take the bullet and let you take the downfall. And they don't want to be the villains. Think about it, right? Their whole MO has been building around Damian Lillard, and their fan base believes it. I've seen plenty of Portland Trailblazer fans say they do not want to trade Damian just because other fans want to. I've seen plenty of Blazer fans say, hey, we need to keep Damian and keep building through him because he's a championship level player. Well, listen, I think he'd be an excellent Robin, maybe even a third fiddle in a team, but he's definitely not a Batman. He's not going to put you over the top and help you win a championship with the with the pieces like Jeremy Grant and Anthony Simmons, right? They didn't even make the playoffs. So that tells you right there that you're lying to your fans if you're against snakes in the grass. That's all they ever do is sell wolf tickets. You're lying to your fans if you believe that Damian Lillard is going to take you to the promised land by himself. If him and CJ couldn't do it, you damn sure ain't going to do it, Anthony Simmons, okay? And then if you think you're going to get the pieces and develop them quickly enough, right, and skip a rebuild, with whatever draft pick this is, and I like the kid Miller, man, Brandon Miller. I like Scoot Henderson, but those guys are gonna take a couple years to get seasoned and refined, right? They're not, even Victor Wembanyama is not gonna get you to compete for a title right away. Even the generational prospect is not gonna get you there. So it's one of those things where you have to be smart. Like Portland is if they were really smart, they would have been sold the fact that they have to get the most out of Damian Lillard to their fans and start the rebuild. And they have some nice pieces. I like Anthony Simmons. I like whoever they're going to draft here with the third overall pick. And, they got some nice pieces over there. Of course, Shaden Sharp, high flyer. That's something you can sell to a fan base. Now, I don't know how they're buying these wolf tickets about building through Damian. It's already been proven you can't do it. You cannot do it. And matter of fact, I thought they were going to start the rebuild when they did trade CJ McCollum. I was shocked that they held on to Damian. I think the world was shocked at that point, and everybody should have known they were full of it. But yeah, it's one of those things where I'm just like I'm waiting for that final pin to drop and somebody to say, okay, trade Damian Lillard. We're going to trade him, or Damian to say I request a trade. Either way. But you're right, bro. They are playing chicken, and somebody has to say it with their chest. It's time. It's overdue. It's been written. They're past the expiration date, and what is he, 32, 33 now? He doesn't have many years of prime basketball left, maybe one or two before he starts really declining. So, yeah, if he wants to make any mark on an NBA legacy, then I suggest you get to moving now, pal, because he deserves so much better. I've always been a fan of Damian, but I've kind of like lost interest the last couple of years, just seeing him rot over there in Portland. So. Buck says, I hope the Lakers make a trade before draft day or during draft day. That would be interesting too. There's a lot of rumors going on right now. Kyle Kuzma just opted out of his contract, and that rumor started churning. Yes, just yesterday we were talking about Draymond Green opting out of his contract on around the league. So that is definitely something to keep an eye out for. There's a lot of stuff, and obviously the Lakers are always going to be involved in rumors. Of course, 90% of those won't be true, but the ones that will be, it'll be interesting to see what comes into fruition. Now we're around the corner to free agency, and I got you guys covered all summer long. But for now, we're focused on the draft right now. And there's a couple of prospects we like, right? Derek Lively III is one of them. We've been hearing multiple rumblings of players the Lakers are interested in, especially with the second round pick. But they've held private workouts with first round prospects, and we haven't heard much of those. So the Lakers are being really smart because they know that the league knows how awesome they are at scouting, and they're trying to steal some of their mojo. And so of course these guys are going to keep an ear out to hear who the Lakers like, and the Lakers, I give them credit, excuse me, because they're being very secretive, where even a guy like me usually knows who they like with this pick, right? And we're hearing all kinds of names. I think it's all misdirection for now. I even heard Jaime Jaquez, who I have projected to be a second round pick, late first round pick, there to be some interest around the teens. So again, rumors are churning. The NBA is the best sport in the world because basketball is the best sport in the world because it's a year-round thing. There's no off season really. Even in the off season, we're talking more about free agency and the trade that just happened with Bradley Beal than we are about the NBA finals. And yeah, part of that is because the Denver Nuggets are boring, but the other part is because the NBA is just a machine that keeps churning and churning, and it won't stop. And I love it. I love it, man. I'm made for this. Inject some NBA into my veins because it's what I live for. Juan said, bro, I have a feeling that we keep in the 17th pick. Oh, me too. And I think it's the right process to continue to build forward and keep getting better, as an organization. And if something, comes up where it's worth trading it, then so be it. I'm for that as well. But as long as we keep improving and we're going in the right direction and we don't do some sort of bandage type of trade because other teams are making knee-jerk reaction type moves, right? We got to stay the course and continue to steadily get better. Like, I like what we're doing, all right? Austin Reeves is developing nicely. You saw what Rui Hachimura did. Now he's looking like a part of our future. Now it's rumored that he's gonna command anywhere between 8 mil to 12 mil on the market, but he's worth that for me because just based off his potential, he has all-star potential. I mean, the way the kid was cooking offensively, and he showed he could be a two-way player with his solid defense on Jokic, right? The Finals MVP. I mean, you can't just sweep that under the rug and say, it was nothing. It was a fluke. It's not. I mean, I've always liked Rui since he came out of Gonzaga. I knew he was going to be a beast. And it took somebody like the Lakers and Phil Handy and the rest of the coaching staff to try and unlock his potential. So this kid, he has unlimited potential, just like Austin Reeves, and he's in the right place. Also, watch out for Max Christie next season. Cole Swider. Let's see how these guys develop. Summer League is going to be entertaining. Obviously, I got you guys covered there. And then the draft, if we keep these picks, maybe we buy another second rounder, or maybe we trade down and get 2 first rounders, or maybe we get some undrafted free agents that we didn't expect were going to be undrafted free agents. Like, again, the Lakers are here, and this is where we specialize in the offseason, in the draft especially. So, questions. Let's see. Didn't LeBron recruit every player he's played with? So much for Anthony Davis quit on the Pelicans to come to the Lakers. Not really sure what you're crying. Ain't nobody crying. Your guy does it every chance he gets. First of all, my guy is Kobe Bryant. That's first and foremost. I like LeBron James, but I love Kobe Bryant. So you're wrong on that. That's not my guy. As far as I'm thankful for what LeBron has done, what he's done in his personal career, as far as recruiting on Miami and all of that, that's out the door. We're talking Lakers basketball here. If you want to make it personal, cool. As far as Kevin Durant, though, nobody's had even close to the amount of talent he's played with in their prime. So I'm not talking. You talking about recruiting? Haters bring up guys like Derrick Rose. He was past his prime. Role players like Ray Allen, also past his prime. He played his final years in Miami. But we're talking about Kevin Durant, who has played with prime players, played with prime Westbrook, right? He played with Harden. He played with Serge Ibaka. He played with prime Curry, prime Clay, prime Draymond. Then he goes on to the Brooklyn Nets, prime Kyrie, prime James Harden. And so again, you're comparing apples to oranges, and this is where you show your lack of knowledge. Is you're showing your bias. Clearly, you must be a Suns fan or a KD fan. You get so offended that I'm speaking facts on Kevin, the tarantula, the snake. It is what it is, man. At the end of the day, his legacy will be that he played with the most talent than any superstar in the NBA, and he only came up with 2, potentially 3 championships. That is, to me, the biggest disappointment in history. Because if you play with that much talent, you should have 10 championships. Your ass should have at least 6. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we're not going to give him a pass on this channel. I'm sure you can find plenty of channels where, they suck up basketball, and they can go and say, well, he's a, spectacular talent and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, let's not kid ourselves. Yes, he's phenomenal, but his mindset is weak as hell, and there's no way around it, man. I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings. As a matter of fact, is this Kevin Durant burner account? You know what I'm saying? Like, he got burner account, so you just never know, right? And this guy's talking about crying, bro. You're crying in favor of your favorite player. At the end of the day, I'll say this, man. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but Kevin Durant is a snake. All right, we knew he recruited Bradley Beal probably from the moment he landed in Phoenix. Probably from that moment. That's how insecure he is as a player. And that's unfortunate because he was one of my favorite players coming out of Texas. And even in OKC, he was fun to watch. And then he took the easy route, went to Golden State, took the easier route, and then followed by Brooklyn. Now this, how could you, man? How could you defend that? You just can't. You can't. And people getting butthurt by me saying he's not in the same conversation as LeBron, Jordan, or Kobe. That's just facts, brother. He's not. He's not in that same conversation. He hasn't accomplished half of what they have, and he's had more talent. So how can you put him there, right? That's all I got to say about that. But I'm over the subject. Hey, listen, he better hope he wins a championship and multiples, and even that's not going to justify all the talent he's played with. But if he doesn't, if he fails again like he did in Brooklyn, if he fails again like he did in OKC, you better believe he's going to get called out, especially by me. Hey, Dan, have you heard that the Lakers want to bring back D'Lo on a 2-year deal? I did hear, and they want to, they want to load that deal up heavy on the front end. That way he might agree to it, right? And Jeff mentioned it last night on Around the League. Maybe there's a chance that the Lakers don't want to add contracts past the LeBron James and Anthony Davis timeline. That way they can start from scratch. And that makes sense. But again, we don't know how the front office is thinking. This is all pure speculation as of right now. But it is interesting. It is intriguing as well. He says, sighting of LeBron James and Draymond in France. Draymond to LA Lakers confirmed. They're good friends, man. They hang out. So you just never know. It could translate to maybe recruitment. And obviously, everybody knows if you rub elbows with LeBron James, you're probably gonna, become a business partner along the way. You're gonna make some money. So even if he loses money up front, maybe there's a good long-term plan there for him to make more money on the back end, right? But I'm not gonna sit here and speculate because I do feel like Draymond just wants to sign a long-term deal with the Warriors. If he does go to a team, there's a chance it could be the Lakers. There's a chance it could be somebody else. But I'm not going to hold my breath for Draymond Green. I don't think he's the solution. Would he fit alongside AD? Sure. He plays solid defense, has active hands, high basketball IQ, can pass out of the post, and occasionally can knock down a shot or two. So, yeah, it would be an upgrade at the position. But it's not something I'm holding my breath for. And he's older, and it always feels like the Lakers just get these older players when they're past their prime already. And sometimes it works out like it did with Rondo and Dwight, and sometimes it doesn't, like it did with Nash and others that have come before, right? So it's one of those things where you're just like, okay, if it happens, I'll embrace it, but I hope it doesn't happen. I want us to keep getting younger. I want Nas Reed. I want us to keep getting, size in the draft, Derek Lively, amongst others. And just keep getting young. Keep getting young because we're building for our future and we're already impacting, the future is already impacting the present. I mean, look at the tremendous playoff run that both Austin and Rui had. So those guys can clearly contribute now. And so that means that gives us a little more leeway to build for the future. If those guys would not have been effective, you could bet your ass the Lakers wouldn't be putting their money, on their stock, right? They probably would be talking about trades right now, including them in packages and stuff, trying to land another star. So the biggest win in the playoffs for me was the fact that those guys carved out a niche and they made a name for themselves. And now the league is on high alert. So you're going to see these guys probably get some high contract offers that we're most likely going to match. And I'm cool with that. That's what it's all about. He said the Suns aren't making it past the second round, Dan. We can't predict that because we don't know what the final roster looks like. But as of right now, they look very likely to even be Western Conference contenders to come out of the West. Even as of right now, what people don't understand, and you guys, I feel like you're basing it off of the team that was in Brooklyn and how that didn't work with KD. But then this team is a lot more comparable to the Golden State Warrior team that did work with KD when he won 2 championships. Because look, you got the shooters, the floor spacers like Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. They could both play off ball. And this is me being completely unbiased. This is just me putting on my thinking cap and talking real basketball. Guys, this team is going to be much better off than the team in Brooklyn. Both of these guys don't need the ball in their hands to be effective. As much as I dislike Devin Booker, he can catch and shoot. All right, he can play off a ball. Same thing with Bradley Beal. Heck, even Kevin Durant can play some catch and shoot if he needs to, right? So they're going to take turns ball handling. Offensively, there's going to be no issues there. Defensively is the question, but they kept DeAndre Ayton. If he buys in defensively, Frank Vogel is a defensive mastermind. All he needs is a legit 7-footer like that. And they're going to be solid defensively. And then you got Josh Okogie, who they're probably going to bring back because they don't have a lot of options. Another solid defender, right? Their starting lineup very well could be Devin Booker running point, shooting guard Bradley Beal, small forward Kevin Durant, Josh Okogie, and DeAndre Ayton. You'd be a fool to think they don't have a chance to make it out of the second round just with that starting lineup. And then off the bench, they're going to have guys like Cameron Payne who've been, effective. They might re-sign all of their bench guys, and they'll be just okay, right? So I don't buy the fact that people are saying, oh, they're not going to make it out of this. I don't like this. Way too early to peg teams anywhere. You guys know I usually like to wait till after December before I start making my predictions. We don't even know what the rest of the league is going to look like. What if somebody else pulls up and gets another super team somewhere? All of a sudden, they'll become the favorites, right? So let's wait and see. Let's not get too hasty with our predictions as far as who's going to end up where. We're not even into the season yet. This is still the off season. Let's wait. And again, I feel like the owner of the Phoenix Suns is going to get a lot of under the radar free agents on the cheap because there's under the table money. There's stocks. There's Bitcoin. There's all kinds of ways they could go around the salary cap to pay these guys to come and take the minimum. So don't be surprised if that happens. I predicted that this trade might be lopsided and they might not even give up 8, and look what happened. So I hate it, but there's no parity in the NBA. Basically, the rich owners get what they want, right? The Steve Ballmers of the world, they land all the talent. So all the rest of us fans, we have to sit back and hope for the best, and we have to, Rob has to really strategize on how he can improve his roster because we're not that far away, right? Hey, Dan, True Blazers are willing to trade for Bam or PG-13? I'm sure they're willing to, or maybe that's just the ploy against the episode title is Snakes on the Grass. So maybe that's what they're being towards Damian Lillard and trying to give him false hope so he doesn't get upset if they can't, right? Because they're shooting for the stars, hoping to land on the moon, and or in reverse, they're shooting for the moon, hoping to land in the stars. And I feel like this is all a diversion to, at the end of the day, go back to Damian and be like, look, we tried to get PG, we tried to get Bam. Those don't sound like pieces teams are trading, right? Do you think Miami's going to trade Bam? Because I don't. You know what I mean? As far as Paul George for the Clippers, to be honest with you, I give 2 shits about what the Clippers do. But just speaking from a basketball GM perspective, it would be in the best interest of the Clippers to trade Paul George and Kawhi and start from scratch. And that would be a good way to do it, right? If you trade with Portland and you land some young talent like the number 3 overall pick and Simons, then yeah. But again, I just don't feel. I think they're selling Damian Lillard and their fans wolf tickets, and they're gonna come up dry and say, "Well, we tried, Damian. The ball's on your court. You got to become the villain if you want to get traded, right?" And that's why I think Damian is biting his tongue. He just wants to be such a hero, and he wants his image to forever be that of a good boy. But come on, man, you're Damian Lillard, bro. You're supposed to be a dog on and off the court. Are the Lakers willing to make a trade? I believe that Rob Pelinka has proved to us already that if the pieces are there, he's definitely willing and able to make the trade. But however, he doesn't want to get swindled like we did for Russell Westbrook. That was potentially one of the worst trades we've had in franchise history. Think about it. We got an aging star player who's no longer a star, who didn't fit on the team, poor floor spacing, who didn't buy in, poor attitude, which is why I'm no longer a fan of Russell Westbrook. Poor attitude. Heck, probably had poor hygiene. I don't know. This dude don't listen to nobody. He probably won't even hit the showers after the game. Like, this dude was stinking up the joint, right? The chemistry was horrible. And we gave up a first-round pick. We gave up Kyle Kuzma, KCP, both champions, by the way. KCP, a returning champion. And I think Montrezl Harrell. All of that just for Russell Westbrook. And that potentially might have been one of the more damning trades that this franchise has done in history. And I will say this. Russell Westbrook was probably the worst Laker of all time if you measure his contract with his production, with his attitude, and just all the negative press he brought to the Lakers. He made us look like the villain when really it was him. Heck, you got Ty Lue shooting, taking shots at Westbrook, talking about coaches get fired all the time when you got players, having 7 turnovers. I mean, there's only one player that I know that consistently has 7 turnovers. His name is Westbrook. So, yeah, like, it's one of those things, man, where I'm just like, that was potentially one of the worst trades in franchise history. It was up there. I'll tell you that. It was a top 3 for sure. Where did I get this shirt? This was a gift, man. Most of the stuff I wear on the channel is gifts that, people have gotten me. Shout out to my brother Mookie. He got me this awesome shirt, man, because he knows that I always will call Crypto Staples Center. So this was a gift from him. Very thoughtful, and I love it, man. Got the classic Kobe and Shaq picture on it. It's a beautiful, beautiful moment captured in time and crafted into an art. So, yeah, man. Dan, don't want to overpay Rui and the other guy? The other guy might become an all-star and Rui as well. I'm overpaying, if that's what you call it. It's not coming out of my pockets, and it's not like if we don't use that salary, we could use it on somebody else. We need to bring those guys back at any cost. If it doesn't work out in the future, there's always a chance you could trade and get some assets in return. But I think it'll work out, and I think these are the faces of the future of Laker basketball. It's starting with Austin Reeves, and Rui has a huge chance to become a huge part of that as well. He continues to build on what he did in the playoffs. People forget these were their first ever playoffs, and they were killing it, man. First ever. Imagine what they're going to do the next time they come through, or the next time, right? They're just getting experience under their belt. Now they know, hey, I'm a beast even when the pressure's all the way on, so I can dominate the regular season if I want. That confidence is installing, especially Austin Reeves, who's about to go to Team USA and his confidence is going to skyrocket to another level. Now he knows he's the coldest white boy in Cali. Now he knows for a fact that he's going to come out here and he's a hooper, right? Certified, and everybody knows it as well. You had a lot of people like Rashard McCants on podcast saying he was overrated just because he's white. That was hating on him and playing the race card and all this bullshit. And then they said, oh, he could actually ball, right? They ate their words. They proved they weren't watching the actual games. So that's what I love about Austin Reeves. He quieted all the haters, and all it took was one playoff run, right? We already knew. We've been knew Austin was specials in Summer League, which is exactly why you want to tap in with your boy this Summer League, because I always tend to have a keen eye for talent, and I can tell you who really stands out from the beginning of their story. So, yes, very excited for that. Christian, thanks so much for Super Chat, my brother. He said the Nets owner a few years ago did an under-the-table money with AK-47 Karolinko. I know, bro. It's always some weird stuff that they're on, man. And give me 1 second. Let me plug this in on the charger. There's always some weird stuff that they're on, right? But the league allows it. There's nothing wrong, all right, unless it's the Lakers are involved. Then we get penalized. We get all kinds of like tampering charges. We get everything, but other teams can do it. And I think that's one of the most annoying things as a Laker fan. It always feels like it's us against the world. You've seen that ignorant comment that came through earlier when bro said I was crying about Kevin. Nobody's crying about Kevin Durant. We're stating facts, right? When was the last time the Lakers got a star player for second round picks, right? That's how I'm going to kill all those fake bot arguments that these people are creating just to hate on your boy's channel. It's like, okay, if I'm crying, then just tell me this. When was the last time the Lakers traded second round picks and phantom first round picks? Let's be honest. Those are phantom first round pick swaps they gave up. They're probably not even going to get swapped because they're going to have a better record, the Suns are, due to them having all that talent than the team they traded with, right? Most likely. So it's basically second round picks, Chris Paul, and a throwaway player in Landry Shamet, who's a solid shooter and a role player, but nothing more than that. You gave all that up for a 3-time All-Star and Bradley Beal, who's still in the prime of his career, right? Still in his, I think, barely about to turn 30 or already did, but just is still young, still has good years. And just people want to overlook that and pretend like it's us Laker fans only complaining about it. No, we're not. We're just saying point to where we got away with a second round star player, right, for only second round picks. And then I'll say, okay, then maybe we are overreacting. You can't do it. Even if you bring up Gasol, even when we traded for Gasol, we gave up Mark, who ended up being an all-star. We gave up tons of first-round picks. We gave up an expiring contract, which at the time was very lucrative, in Kwame Brown. We gave up a first-round pick who at the time had a lot of potential in Javaris Crittenton. Didn't work out for him, but that's on him, right? But we gave up a lot more for even somebody like Pau Gasol, who at the time was just an all-star. He wasn't no superstar, nothing like that, right? And he elevated his game when he got to the Lakers. So, and again, credit to Kobe for that, for elevating him and putting the pressure. Same thing with Phil. But we never get away with trades like that, like that for second round picks. Even for role players, we had to give up a protected first round pick. Think about it, right? So I just, it's funny to me how these haters just want to talk out of their backside, but they don't come with context. If you're going to come, you come at the king, you best not miss. Better bring your context. Because I know ball, I know the facts, and I will bring those to you, right? And I'll drop them off at your doorstep. Whether you want to, open up the door and receive those facts, that's on you. Otherwise, you know what I'm saying? Like, get off my level because you're not on it. He said, Lakers, Danny, Trae Young. I'm sorry. Lakers don't need Trae Young. He said, it's not the same player he was a couple years ago. Just facts. Laker need shooters. I disagree with that respectfully. Trae Young is only 24 years of age. I didn't even know this. I had to look up his age. 24 years of age, and he's already accomplished the same thing Luka Doncic has, but in the Eastern Conference. People praise Luka so much, but Trae Young has accomplished similarities. He got his team to the Eastern Conference Finals. Guess where Luka got his team? Western Conference Finals, right? And you can even argue that Trae did it with less talent than Luka did, because at the time, Luka had Jalen Brunson and some very solid role players over there. So I don't think we've seen the best of what Trae Young can do yet. And that's the scary part. He already got his team to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now imagine putting Trae Young on a team with LeBron. Even though he's not in his prime anymore, he's still damn good. He's still a top 5 player in this league. I don't care. Nobody says, right? When he's healthy. With Anthony Davis, all right, to me, the best two-way big man in the league. He might not be the best overall big because he didn't lead his team to the championship like Jokic did, So that title is gone now, but he's for sure the best two-way. Like as far as can get you buckets and defend. Got to give it to AD. And then you put Trae Young as your third option alongside in the backcourt potentially with Austin Reeves. Sign me the fuck up for that, man. Because that right there has potential to be box office. And you're talking about a player who can hit clutch shots, could probably go off for 50 on any given night, could play make. Only thing he can't do is defend. But outside of that, everything you need offensively, he will provide that for you. So I don't understand why people don't want Trae Young, because Trae Young has been one of my favorite players for a reason. This dude is a killer, man. He got that clutch gene in him. He's fearless, and he plays bigger than his size as far as production goes. I love players like that. A lot of heart, man. A lot of heart. Elia Cruz says, Dan, love the content. Would you rather have Caruso or Kuzma come back if you had to choose one? Damn, that's tough. That's a tough one because I'm a big Kuzma guy. I was a fan of his, since we drafted him. He's always been one of my favorites. So probably I'd say Kuzma based off of that, and he has more size and a little bit more versatile on the defensive end. But Caruso, man, and Austin Reeves, we'd have the two coldest white boys in the league. Oh my goodness! Defensively, that would be awesome to watch, and then offensively, he's also a very good playmaker and plays well for LeBron. But I think I have to side with Kuz just because of the size, the versatility, and what he does there. Tremendous player and very underrated. I think people now realize how good he was. But I always used to tell people, remember, if you've been rocking with me for a while, I tell people, Kuz is better than what his numbers are saying. He's sacrificing for the team to win, and we sure as heck won when he was here. Imagine, even when the injuries happened, he was exactly the type of player we needed because he would step up and drop 30 to 40-point games and even clutch buzzer beaters and stuff like that. Like, dude, I always used to say Kuzma's so clutch because he was just always with the banger. So we miss him more than we missed him the last couple of years we haven't had him, and now I'm just glad fans finally realized they used to disrespect the shit out of him. Although I have a theory that those were player fans disrespecting him. Usually Laker fans, we support our guys, especially the guys we draft. Player fans tend to throw every player except their favorite player under the bus. So I have a theory that those were player fans trashing Kuzma, but I might be wrong. It might have been a mix. Bottom line is this. Yeah, Kuzma would be amazing. I doubt we can afford him. I think he opted out. He's about to get the bag somewhere. I'm thinking plus 20 mil. But if he somehow takes a shave to come back to the Lakers, man, it would be awesome. I would be so ecstatic. And even though I don't think the Lakers necessarily need him because we have Rui, we could always use another wing defender who can score, get you buckets, rebound, and play make. And that's exactly what he is, right? You can never have enough of those. I'll say that. He said, Dan, would you trade for Trae Young, but the Hawks want AR-15? No. And it's not because, obviously, AR is one of my favorite young players that the Lakers have had in a long time, but because AR plays defense. So, again, you don't want to sacrifice defense for offense. You want to have your cake and eat it too. If I'm getting Trae Young, I need a solid defender in the backcourt, and that's what Austin Reeves is. You can't have, Trae Young and then, Malik Beasley in the backcourt. That's going to be one of the weakest defensive backcourts. We're going to get exploited. Don't want that. However, if you can mask Trae Young like the Warriors do to Curry, and you can, get another big to help AD in the paint. Now you got two rim protectors. Guy's not going to be driving in there so easily because you got the last line of defense back there. But yeah, I'm not, even though obviously Trae Young's a better player than Austin Reeves right now, I love Austin Reeves' potential on both ends of the floor better. And I think, he's a player that can be effective even when he's not scoring. And those are the type of players I love, even more so than guys like Trae who can take over games. But if there's any way to get Trae without giving up Austin Reeves, then I definitely do it because, again, Trae Young is awesome, and he has potential to become a generational talent. Right now, he's not that. He hasn't accomplished enough in his career to be labeled that, but he's definitely an all-star, and he's never been the third option on any team that I've ever seen him play, even in Oklahoma, right? He's never been the third option, always been the first option. So I'd love to see what he does as a third option. I think he would kill, man. You know how many wide open threes he would smack for us? You know how many teardrops, floaters down the lane, breaking down the defenses because they were so busy covering LeBron and AD? Like, that would be sexy. That would be sexy. Trae Young, I saw him play live. Shout out to my bro Mook for sending us. I saw him play live this season, and he's nothing short of spectacular. Lakers were winning. We were dominating that game, but they were sneaking back in there. and coming back. And then I look at the box score and I see Trae Young had a quiet 35. I'm like, or 34, I think. And I'm like, damn, like, how did this even happen? I've been paying attention to the whole game, and I didn't think he was really dominating like that. And we were playing him some solid defense. Shout out to Max Christie, who was guarding him that game, but he still quietly got 35. And that's exactly the type of player he is. Even when he's not having the best offensive nights, he will come through in the clutch and he will still put up big numbers that'll help you potentially win games. So, yeah, he would be exactly what the doctor's ordered as far as relieving pressure off of LeBron in the scoring department, right? But as far as defense, he's not the answer. We need another rim protector. That's why I've been heavy on Derek Lively the third. Hopefully he could slip down to us in the draft and we scoop him up. If not, then we're going to have to look to free agency, right? Dan, do you want John Collins? Oh, he's another young player I really like. He's my second favorite player on the Hawks. And very athletic. He can score. He can space the floor. He can rebound. He can do a little bit of everything. I wouldn't mind a pairing of John Collins and AD, but what is it going to cost you, right? I actually think they might value John Collins a little bit more than they do Trae, but I don't know. Just according to rumors, right? Sometimes these rumors can be misguided. They shouldn't value John Collins more than Trae. I'll tell you that. Dan, I hope we don't play AD at the 5 until the playoffs. Me too, brother. I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there. Matter of fact, I'd be okay with playing AD at the 5, but you have to have an interchangeable 4 who basically positionless basketball, who can help with the rim protection and the dirty work. As long as that happens, and I don't care what position AD plays, but we cannot leave him out there on an island by himself with 3 guards and LeBron James. Can't do that. LeBron's not young enough and spry enough to guard every possession at the rim. He could do it in spurts, and the guards are going to get outmatched, just like we did in Denver. So we got to address that this offseason. And I think a lot of teams are going to head into the offseason. They're going to look to address that for sure. But anyways, guys, it's going to wrap it up for me. It's been another awesome episode of Beyond Sports. Thank you guys for tapping in. Again, if you guys know, this podcast is not necessarily always about sports. Sometimes we'll go and we'll talk beyond sports. But, I mean, this time of the year, we got so many rumors. You got the draft. You got free agency around the corner, summer league. I can't help myself but to dedicate a full episode to basketball or 2 here and there every now and then, all right? Appreciate you guys. If you guys haven't hit that post noti bell, definitely do. Major shout out to my sponsorship, Prize Picks, which is why this channel continues to be brought to you by Prize Picks. And thank you guys again. Shout out to my editor right here, Christian, bro. Thank you so much for the graphics always. And I will see you guys. If anything breaks, you know where to find me. Otherwise, or, you know, I'll be tapping in with the rumor breakdowns and stuff. But I will see you guys here Thursday for sure in the draft. 4:30 Pacific time, I believe, is when it starts. So I'll see you guys here, man. Don't miss out. Great content coming up. Peace.